Handsome.
Okay.
It's another gorgeous day on planet Earth and another day of Dose of Did You Know, where intriguing, unique individuals come to talk love and life and how it brought them to where we are today. I am your host, Danny Rocco, and with me is the one and only Freddy. Freddy, how are you?
I'm great, Danny. Thank you for having me on. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. I was telling Freddy before we got started, I'm always excited because he is in the next town over from me. So it's like when I have a local, it feels like you have a little piece of my heart, a little closer. I love it. I'm a little weird like that, Freddie. I can get excited.
No, it's great. I was excited to hear you from Exeter, right? The next town over.
It is. But before we get started and I just dig in asking you all these kinds of questions, tell the world a little bit about who Freddy is.
A little bit about me was I'm 47 years old, and I went to college. I went to Roger Williams University, and after that, I lived in Newport, Rhode Island for quite some time, and moved to Louisville, Kentucky. And throughout college, I ended up, was an alcoholic. I believe born an alcoholic, and that was a major issue throughout my entire life, and is major issue. So I was an alcoholic throughout my life, through all the way when I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, and when I came back, I finally I had moved all over the place, geographic cures and whatnot, and I finally found my way. I grew up originally in York Beach, and I finally landed in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And when I got here, I've been here for the past 4 years, and a couple of years ago, just over 2 years ago, I lost my vision within a 3-month period. It's called Leber's hereditary or optic neuropathy. And I could see shapes, shadows, silhouettes. It's maybe similar to wax paper. That was the closest I could maybe resemble that. And but by the grace of God, losing my visions saved my life, because I was at the end stages of alcoholism. Mm-hmm. I had neuropathy, hepatitis, gout. I was beginning stages of cirrhosis. And through the grace of God, I was involved in a clinical trial that has failed. But although it failed, it saved my life, because in that time I got into a program of recovery that saved my life.
Oh my gosh! Like, first of all, the first thing I have to say is, like, what is that? I mean, I can't even put words on if I were to wake up 3 months from now and not be able to see like the way I see. Like, what was that? Were you scared as crap?
It was crazy. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So I was my cousin has the same disease as me. So when I was it was actually on my birthday when I was driving golf balls, and I knew something was kind of weird happening a little bit with the vision, kind of losing a little bit of it, and then that was kind of the I didn't see one golf ball. Usually I lose some, not all. And so when I went to the doctors down the street, when they looked at my eyes, I knew I was kind of in trouble, when the lady had said to me, I've never seen anything like this before. And I knew I was in some trouble. And so I got rushed down to Mass General, and they really kind of didn't know what to do with me, because I was losing it so fast. And within a 3-month period, I was hallucinating as if I was on acid or mushrooms. It was called Charles Bennett syndrome, and it's very rare that it happens. But when you do lose it rapidly, there's, like I said, it's called Charles Bennett syndrome, where you just completely hallucinate. There was like cartoon characters going down the street and then finally had settled down and leveled off, thank God.
Is it like your brain kind of just goes wonky because it's not understanding or being able to process? Exactly.
Yes. Yep. And your brain's not being able to process what your eyes are seeing or failing to see. And so there was a specialist that came over. I was really going out of my mind, because I didn't know how that was happening. And, she let me know about the Charles Bennett syndrome. She heard of it. And she said, the good good news is it should go away within a couple of years. You know, I said a couple of years, and thank God it subsided within a few months. Thank God.
Oh, wow.
And not only did that subside, but my vision has since leveled off by the grace of God.
So that now you're kind of sustained, where whatever you are now is what you think you'll be able to see forever. Or is it an unknownity?
It's I hope so. Yes. Most people with my disease, it levels off to this point. So
okay.
I'll be able to scoot around, and I'm able to walk every day. I walk about 15 miles a day, and I use a cane. And you know, I couldn't be more happy with. I feel like the luckiest guy in the world. I really do.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how we have these things that happen in our life? And when you look at them from the outside, they are completely utter tragedies. But it is perfectly placed into your life to make you be able to live into your purpose and your greatness. I mean, that's how I feel when I'm listening to you talk.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, I've been able to you know, really help a lot of people. And speaking of helping people, what I've come to find in through the help of people in my program of recovery is helping others. I cannot express enough. When you help others, it takes me outside of myself. I find it impossible to be selfish if I'm simultaneously helping others, and the joy you get from it. It's an incredible feeling, and it can't really be explained until you actually do it. You know, put it into action.
Right. I want to go back just a smidge
Sure.
because I think there's like something very special that you discovered. How did you not let this happen, this physical piece, you know, as you're going through it, create more of issues with alcoholism? What was that turning point for you?
Well, excuse me. I get all choked up when I even think about it. But the turning point was I went to my sisters in Kentucky. We drove down there because I don't fly for about 3.5 weeks, and my liver enzymes were through the roof. I had already been told by the doctor, we're not telling you to be careful anymore. The sonogram came back; it was horrific, and it's more than be careful. You're at the end stages of alcoholism. So I did not drink down there for about 3.5 weeks, and on the ride home, I was so sick. I said to myself, I'm just gonna get home and continue to drink and drink myself to death. And when I came home, it was the next day or two later that we got a miracle call from Philadelphia that said Freddy needs to get up here immediately because there's a clinical trial that is available. So we drove up there right away, and through all the testing and everything else. Of course, I'm extremely nervous, and I was kind of hinting around about the clinical trial with the blood work. And they took all these day-long tests to get into the study. And when I came home, I was very, very nervous. I'm not going to qualify because I asked the nurse, and she said, if your enzymes are too high, unfortunately, you'll be kicked out of the study. They've kicked out a number of people prior to myself. And I made that, excuse my language, ass on fire prayer. And I said, if this test comes back, I will never drink again. And it came back, and it was a complete miracle that my enzymes got low enough to be qualified for the clinical trial. And you know, I was very, very excited. I couldn't get over the clinical trial. They let me know that excuse me, a gentleman was actually, it should work within a 1-year period. And they said, excuse me, there's a gentleman that's actually driving to his appointments. I said, driving? I said, I'm going to drive that guy. That's how excited I was. And it was kind of weird leading up to that 1 year. There was about 6 months, 7 months. And then as we were approaching 1 year, I was kind of didn't want time to go to elapse as much as it was. And by the time 1 year came, I really didn't notice anything. And but by that time, I was hooked on the recovery program that I'm involved with, and I was just could not believe how great my life was, you know. And yeah, it was amazing, you know. So even though the clinical trial failed with my vision, it saved my life. And yeah, I just really couldn't be happier. I did. the only negative thing in my life is the days go by too quickly. You know, the days are too short for me.
Oh man, is it? Oh, there's so many things. So now you have this. You've reached out more, right? You said you work with people, you're doing things, you're giving back so much of your life, and you started a website. I Got Bridged.
I did. So I walk over. It's called the Memorial Bridge. I walk probably about 15 miles per day, and I'm always walking over this bridge, the Memorial Bridge, which is a drawbridge in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and you know, kind of wait for the bridge for about 10 minutes or so, and it's kind of a physical barrier to get to the other side. And while I'm waiting for that, I kept saying to myself, you know, as far as like I'm finally a metaphor. And I said to a friend of mine who was visiting me from Newport, Rhode Island, Shannon, who's been a godsend as well. And so has Brenna, by the way, who's helping me and hooked up this video. But besides that, I mentioned the idea, and I said, you know, I should make some T-shirts and masks that say maybe I got bridged and you know, sell them because as far as I got bridged, I was explaining to her the idea just kind of came to fruition, where I got bridged, meaning bridged to the other side in life. Or not only that, what happens when we get bridged? So what happened with me is when I got bridged, try to express that with other people. So I started a website, igotbridged.com, not only, and it's a work in progress like all of us. So when I started the website, which I just did with the help of my sisters and family and friends, it's not only going to be something where I can maybe sell some products, not strictly a financial gain, but where people can express their experience, strength, and hope to help others. You know, we can express in a forum what they did, whether it's a husband or wife have passed or whether anything it may be, whether we're going through in life. And we can look on that site and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll try that. You know, I just went golfing blind for the first time with people in the program I'm involved with in climbing Mount Washington next week. And, you know, I mean, we might not climb, you know, Mount Everest, but there could be something on there where we can be interactive and say, I'd like to try that.
Yeah.
And, no more pity parties, you know?
Right. We have to learn through these things in our life. We have to, I mean, there are lessons that are given to us. So sometimes we have to talk about the icky part, the challenging part, the struggle part, because within that, there was an idea and a mindset that you had that got you to that other side. You know, if you keep it to yourself, I mean, you're so many people are losing out. And then you create a forum where there's hundreds and thousands of people saying that, like, I always say it's that special turning point, right?
Absolutely. And I love the fact that, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. I love the fact that when you said, if I keep it to myself, the whole premise behind you cannot keep it to yourself, as far as the program that I'm involved with, it's always, we need to give it away. You have to give it away. In order to keep this feeling, I need to give it away. And when you give it away and you see that feeling in somebody else, you want more. And just similar to along the lines of helping others, we need to, in order to keep what I have, I need to give it away. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, so rightfully so. And the secrets that we all have within our turning point, right? Exactly. We have our line, we're going about life, and we have this like major fall, this like tragedy of some sort, whether it's losing someone, like you said, or going blind, or whatever that is. And then for those that make it out of that sludge hole, there was some sort of secret formula that came to them, you know, and it propelled them. And that is what you're giving, like hundreds and thousands of secret formulas that people have within them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, at first, of course, I had those thoughts, you know, you know, your life is over. And then at blind school, Carroll Center for the Blind, I went for 3.5 months. It's funny. The therapist, she said, you know, you're going to grieve the life you lived. I said, the hell I am. You don't know the life I was living, you know, with all the alcoholism involved. And, you know, it's a, you know, such an awakening at that, you know, the blind school. All you heard was the tap, 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 taps, you know, and, you know, it's quite an experience. And you know, to come out of blind school, a new man, I wanted to go home immediately when I got there. You know, I said to myself, between losing my vision and the alcoholism was so deep rooted, I said, you know, I can't climb this. This mountain's too high to climb. But when you get to that other side, similar to, you know, I got bridged. Once you get to that other side, the reward is unbelievable. And then once you can get to that other side and help others, it's unbelievable feeling. And the only way to explain it is for other people to experience it.
Yeah. And sometimes we experience it through listening to others, because not everybody has a tragedy. Sometimes I talk to people and I'm like, I think I live kind of a boring life because, you know, I grew up fine. I went to school. I have, you know, like there's nothing that they can point out and say like, wow, but they have this urge to be able to give more. And so I think even listening, this is my opinion, listening to stories like you and stories that other people will have on igotbridged.com on your website, it will help those that feel like they have nothing realize, like, just because you might not have a drastic tragedy in your life, you felt pain, you felt love.
Right.
We've all felt struggle. We can't compare it to yours to mine, and vice versa. You can still give.
Oh, absolutely. And once you can transcend to you know, that other side and really, you know, work on yourself. You know, look. I mean, at this point in time, when I can't see, the whole world is beautiful to me. You know, they say how attractive you are. Everybody looks like Danny, right? I mean, what a bonus for me. Absolutely.
I love that.
The problem is when I find an Adam's apple. I'm kidding, but not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right. I said we don't have to be PC on here. But what an amazing concept. I talk about, we have choices. We can choose to be happy or not. We can choose to be loving or not. And you just said it so clearly. For a man who can't see, you're choosing to see everybody beautiful and loving and just whatever that means to you. Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. You know, for the first time in my life, and unfortunately, prior to going blind, I was a superficial person, and you know, how I dare I be, but that just was me as an alcoholic, being extremely selfish, and I was superficial, and God stripped away everything, and it's so beautiful to look at people from the inside out for the first time in my life. It's a wonderful feeling.
It's like that movie Shallow Hal. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh yeah, I'm like Shallow Hal on steroids.
I love it. I think we all need
the problem. You're just going to be careful not to ask what people look like. That's the thing. But sometimes, right when I went blind, I would ask. I started to ask, and now you just get completely used to it. You know, it's funny, and I'm blind enough where I can't really tell at all. You know, race or color or any of that, and it really doesn't matter to me. You know, until my wallet's missing.
Right. Then you're like, hey, now, wait a second.
Yep.
Right. Okay. It's funny how like, I'm like, I know you're blind, but then when I hear you talk, it brings that reality to a different level. Like you just said, you don't see race, you don't see anything. You just see everybody for what like their energy and their personality comes off of.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it before about change and choice. And, you know, I would truly believe, you know, nothing changes if nothing changes whatsoever. And I love this. I heard, and you know what I love about the negativity too, is whether this does nothing to do with alcoholics or just people in general, though, when I believe you said it was, you know, don't tell people your problems. 90% of the people don't care. And the other 10% are glad you have them. You know, and it's true. If you're ever in a conversation with someone, it's just nonstop negativity, and you know, it's you don't want to be around those people, you know, and it's okay. We don't have to just try to be a power of example. You can realize when you walk away from that conversation, you need to decompress.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And those are the ones that you can easily just be like, oh, we're done.
Right. You know, and you can be cordial, and it's just if it's the way I was before, and unfortunately, and I can see how I have changed. Not only would I have drama in my life, I used to hunt for it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's awful. It would be, you know, to have a long session of attacking someone's character and walk away from it and say, "Holy shit," you know, who's this?
Right.
And if that person didn't want to talk about someone, I'd find someone that would want to talk about the other person.
Yeah.
And if they're talking about, someone else, they're sure as hell talking about you.
Well, that is 100% the truth. I love when they say like, it's, they want you to believe that this is just a one-time thing. I'm like, there is never just a one-time thing. This is like a characteristic of,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's great that it's not to do it. It's easy to do. And the other thing that I've learned is, unfortunately, in being an alcoholic, like many others, but I can only speak for myself. My whole life became a lie, And remember, it's not a lie if you believe it. No, but everything became a lie. In carrying that into sobriety, I had to really make it a thing, not to in my daily life, not to lie, because my whole life leading up to sobriety was a lie, and it was quick, funny story. I was eating dinner with my parents when I said before dinner, I'm really going to make it an honest effort not to lie about anything. And about 10 minutes later, we're eating dinner, and they said, "Did you see the debate last night?" I said, "Yeah, well, yeah, a little bit of it. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it." They said, "Are you lying?" I said, "Totally. I didn't watch any." It just became so much of a habit.
Yeah.
And, for what? They'll tell me, "Did you see that movie?" Yes. And I didn't. And,
right.
But I did see Shallow Hal.
Okay, we're on. You haven't lied to me yet, have you?
No.
No. But isn't that funny? Like, what is an okay lie and what is not an okay lie? Right? You make these excuses.
Right. No, exactly. It's true. And then unfortunately, when you start to decipher that, it snowballs into keeping track of what you did say or didn't say, and it's just a matter of and I don't beat myself up for it at all. It was such a thing of my life in the past that it did carry over, like a lot of us that get sober. We just have to learn how not to do it. Someone could I'll be at Burger King, they'll say, "Where are you?" I'll tell them McDonald's. And not anymore. That was in my past, and it's just we're a work in progress.
It is, and you do to be able to evolve and fully appreciate this love that you're receiving and giving. Now you have to forgive yourself. I mean, we're not perfect human beings. We are, we're guaranteed that we're going to, F up at some point in our life repeatedly. I mean, that's just a guarantee, but it's what you do with that. Do you forgive yourself for being an alcoholic? Do you forgive yourself for lying? All of those things? Yes, you do.
Yeah. You have to forgive yourself, but we don't want to forgive ourselves too much. As being an alcoholic, we have to make sure we make amends. That's for sure. And I agree with you. We have to. We don't want to forgive ourselves too much.
Well, it's like
we're so selfish. We want to forgive ourselves the most.
But your forgiveness means like you've learned your lesson, you're moving on, and you're making amends, right? Not
absolutely.
Fake forgiveness.
And if anybody's out there as far as making amends and moving forward, I could encourage that. That was life altering to me. That stage of my recovery is that making amends. I started it. It was going bad. It was going sideways. I put it down. Things were getting worse. But as a whole, when I got through those amends, is the most freeing feeling. It's undescribable feeling for me, and for many others. It's God. So I can't describe the feeling. But the thing is, we have to maintain it and keep it going, and do our inventory on a daily basis. And the one thing I would add, if I could share anything, is I heard for so many times throughout the program, my entire life, being an alcoholic, my entire life, in a handful of rehabs and whatnot. I said the praying cannot work. Praying does, just hearing it. It's so silly. I'd be in my head making fun of people when I'd see them on their knees. And at one point, I just finally said, I got to try this. I mean, I have to. And unbelievable that it took the obsession to drink away. It's just, it's amazing. And now as my life has moved forward, I still continue to pray for that, but now I pray for different things. But for that to take the obsession away is amazing, And I had a gentleman a couple of months ago. He was saying to me, "Well, why should I pray? Why should I pray?" And I finally said, "Because you're homeless and you eat out of the dumpster." And it worked for me. And I can only speak for myself, but from my peers and the people around me, it has worked for them too. The power of prayer is there.
It is. It's powerful when you finally like just give it up and just stop being like, this is crazy, because it's out of your conceptual like vision, no pun intended.
Right.
Man, it's powerful.
Yes, it is. I mean that this I can share anything. It works for me. I get on my knees in the morning and at night, and it really it works for me. And I can't. I can't look back at my past and frown upon any of that. But it was something that I really just kind of I don't know why I didn't pay attention to it, but if I could share with anyone, it truly it helps me anyways. Like I said, I can only speak for myself, but really works.
Those are those little secrets, right? Those are those little key secrets that you have to share, right? Because that's one of your things, prayer. That was something about it when you were ready to accept it. It changed your life, and that is what like I Got Bridged is all about.
Oh, it did.
Yeah. Changing that. So before I let you go, because I did keep you.
Yes, how to get to the other side. It's truly
Yeah, I kept you a little longer than I told you. What I told you 20 minutes. I lied.
God bless.
But before you go, can you hear me or did you freeze up on me? Are you there? Are you still there?
I didn't lose my hearing too.
Okay, no, it's like it's the Wi-Fi's getting a little wonky over there. But before I let you go, you have to answer this one question from the purity of your heart is, in this moment right now, Freddie, what does love mean to you?
Is this let me see. Well, love means to me, God loves all of us. That's for sure. I'm a true believer in that. And I love God. And we also have to make sure that we even love including our enemies. So that's for sure. And if we love our enemies, we'll have truly a lot less resentments. And if you ever have a resentment, pray on that resentment.
Words of wisdom and words to live by. Everyone, if you have not checked out the website, go check it out. Like he said, it's evolving, it's moving. So don't look at it just one time. Keep coming back. And Freddie,
IGotBridge.com.
IGotBridge.com. That is right. Freddie, thank you so much for sharing your story and your heart with all of us. I feel very blessed to know you. And a big shout out to your sister, Lori, for making this happen and connecting us. So
I'd love to thank Brenna for helping me with this technical setup as well. She's been a great friend. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Brenda, you stopped floundering around there. There she is.
Thank you very much. We really look forward to this. It was awesome.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
You're so welcome. And to everybody out there that is watching, remember, as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Awesome. You have to give me a shout out.
Oh, that's okay.